Hello. Hi, students. The California State University, where Professor Jonathan Young has invited to take a session on philosophy and religious studies. Today, first of all, I would like to appreciate your curiosity to learn something about Jainism. I truly believe that Jainism is not a religion, but it is a philosophy and a way of living. Whenever we do any action, it creates an image, an impression in your mind. You must have seen that whenever water spills from a glass, it starts flowing in one direction and then it dries up. But if you again pour water in that same place, you must have marked that it starts flowing in the same path, same direction that is had created before. Why? Because though the water had dried up, it still created and left back an image. So now, when you again poured water over it, it flowed in the same path of the impression. What is this impression? It's nothing but memory. The action got over, but it left an impression. Same thing happens with our life too. When we get angry, after getting angry, the act is over. But it leaves behind an impression of getting angry, which gets saved in the form of memories. So now, whenever you do any action of getting angry, it gets connected with this impression which is set in your mind. And hence, because of linking to the same impression, it opens the same file of getting angry and then you react. Now, tell me one thing. When you boil water, its temperature increases. But slowly, after some time, it comes back to its normal room temperature. Right? Because the real nature of the water is to be at room temperature. It's only when you heat it, it becomes hot. Similarly, whenever you get angry, how long can you remain angry? For few minutes, okay, for few hours, and then slowly you will calm down and come back to normal mood, right? Can you remain normal for longer time or can you remain angry for a longer time? Normal, right? Why? Because anger is not your nature. Ego is not your nature. So, what is not your nature, you cannot remain in that state for a longer time. Whenever you come out from your nature, you cannot stay in that state for a longer time. Understand? Every time you come out of your nature and get angry, it start creating an impression in your mind. Remember one thing. Whenever you remain normal or when you are not highly connected with your emotions, it does not create strong impression or image in your mind. Only when you come out of your normal nature, either you become too hot or you become too calm. As in when you get angry or when you give forgiveness, it start creating impressions and these impressions start becoming pure memory. Let us understand this with one example. Suppose a glass crockery fell from your hand and your mother saw it. When she saw this for the first time, she did not say anything. But it left an impression on her mind that you are careless, that you are careless. Now, when the same thing happens again and again, you dropped some glass from your hand and it broke into pieces. You must have marked that second time when some action took place, your mother got angry. Why? Why? Why first time she did not say anything and second time she immediately got angry? Why? What happened exactly? When the action took place first time, when you dropped the crockery for first time, before that time, your mother did not have any impression set in her mind. But when the incidents took place, she created an impression in her mind that you are careless. Right? So, one new impression entered her mind and got saved. Understand this very deeply. When you dropped the crockery for the second time, the same action got connected to the saved impression in her mind. And then she reacted. Action of the present got connected to the impression of the past saved in her mind. That is how she reacted and got angry. Hello? Situation was the same, but past impression and present action gave a reaction and she got angry. So, past impression plus present situation or action is equal to reaction. Right? That means if we do not have any past impression, we do not have any reaction. Understand? How is that possible? I will explain it. What is this? What is this? Any guesses? No? Okay. This is called Rajoharan, a symbol of non-violence. We Jain saints always keep this with us to take care of small insect like ants, small cockroaches, very soft. We believe in not harming even the smallest of living beings. Okay, now tell me again, what is this? What is this? Okay. All of you could now easily answer this. Why? What happened? When you saw it for the first time, you did not have any impression set in your mind. You were thinking, so you did not have any memory of what is it. Hence, you did not react. But when you saw it for the second time, you did not have to think much, but an impression that this is called Radoharan. Had God set in your mind. So, present act of seeing got connected you to your past impression, past memory, and you immediately reacted unlike the first time. That means when we have impression set in our mind for anything, we tend to have faster reactions for that something. No impression, no reactions. If you have impression for anybody that he is liar, every time you see him, he talks to you, you will always first analyze, he is saying the truth or not. Do you know how many impressions can we save in our memories? We can save impression of past 900 births. Can you imagine how many impressions we carry within us? So, whenever any situation happens, it immediately links to our past impression. That memory pops up and we start giving reaction. That means if we do not have any memory or any set impression for any person in our life, then when we meet anyone, we will meet him the way he is in the present. We will not meet with past impression as we don't have any. And hence, we will not judge him. We will not judge him. When you set impressions, how many impressions do you set at a time? Every single time you see that person, you set one impression. And as many times you meet him or you even think about him, you again set up one more impression. Thus, the impression keeps on multiplying every single time and increase to manifold. Remember, whenever you meet anybody for the first time, and if in the first time you set a negative impression for him, then every single time you meet him, you will again create a new negative impression. In this way, your negativity for him keeps on rising. And lastly, now when it crosses certain limit, then these impressions of getting angry, on looking at him, slowly gets converted to not only being angry but into hatred. Because of our past impression regarding him, irrespective of him behaving well with us in the present, we will only see his negative sides. And hence, the first reactions on meeting him will be of hatred. Hatred. We should never let any negative impression enter our mind for anybody. Because one gives rise to many. Now, tell me, do you have any negativity for anyone? Honestly, if you deeply check yourself, you will definitely find out somebody you have such negative feelings. Now, this is how we analyzed just one emotion of anger. In a similar manner, let us analyze our choices of career. Why did you used to become a CA or doctor or a financial expert? Why? Why? What made you choose your profession? For example, if you decide to become a doctor, deeply check yourself that somewhere you must have got impressed with some or the other doctor in the past. Must have got so much inspired from him that you finally decided to become like him. Let us assume that you became a top level doctor and now you are at a very high post. Will you be happy? Go and ask any of the doctor or any person who is at the topmost level. Will he be satisfied with his profession? Ask anybody. Is he satisfied with what he has in his life? He will say no. Why? Because at every level, your object of happiness kept on changing, and hence your object of satisfaction also kept on changing. Once I achieve this, I will be happy. Once I do this, I will be happy. But after achieving that thing, post or power, you may get happy, but do you remain happy? After some point of time, you would want to achieve something else. So, the things which made you happy earlier, now they no longer fascinate you, and you want to achieve a next level. So, it's a human psychology to never remain satisfied with what we have and to look out for satisfaction in things which we will achieve. Thus, he just keeps on running behind things one after another. If you consider your own case, as a child, you must have loved a toy which was your favorite. You always played with it and were very happy. After few years, you change your toy and now your happiness lies in the new toys. The old toy no longer satisfied you. As you grew older, you started liking your cycle. After few more years, the cycle got replaced with mobile. After few more years, the mobile got replaced with some person, some career, and on and on and on. So with time, your object of satisfaction kept on changing. Your toy of happiness kept on changing. How many toys did you change till date? For how long? Remember, nothing is permanent. Remember, nothing is permanent. Neither the things, nor people, and not even the situations. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. And so is our happiness and our satisfaction too. Remember that with changing situations, our happiness and satisfaction changing. Now, that factor which decides what situations we will face is dependent on our karma. But what reaction we will give in those situations is decided by the impressions that every situation created and left behind in our mind. Are you understanding the link now? That since we have created an impression of happiness and satisfaction with one thing which gave us happiness. So, actually, it was not the thing which made me happy, but it was actually the impression about those things. Be it a toy, a mobile, a dress, a place for whom I had a positive image, and hence it made me happy. Similarly, many a times we may have set a negative impression for a thing. For example, let us consider that you were traveling by flight and your flight suddenly crashed down and fell in the river which was flowing down. You tried very hard, but nothing worked. You finally drowned in that river and your life ends. Now, more than the plane crash, you actually struggled a lot with the water and suffocated yourself to death by drowning in that water. So now, at that point of time, you developed fear for water as it killed you. Now, what happened after your death? You left your body, but what about the impression? The fear of water that it left behind on your soul. Now, whatever you take birth, what do you carry along with you from this birth to next birth? No power, no position, no money, no house, no relatives. Only two things. One is your karma and other is your impression, your memory. So now, from last birth to this birth, you carried along with you, say for example, fear of water. So now what happened? The moment you see water, you start feeling afraid of it. Are you understanding what I am trying to say? You must have seen that many people have different fears. Some have fear of water, fear of heights, fear of entering in a lift, fear of traveling by flights. What are all these fears? They are nothing but present reflections of your past impressions or past memory. It was set in the memory that I had drowned in the water. So, he fears because of his impressions, his memories. So, these reactions are because of our past impressions. These reactions, when they cross certain limit, then they become overreactions. And these overreactions are nothing but our allergy. Scientifically, even doctors have proved that these allergies are related to our genes, and genes are nothing but deep impression, such deep set memories. You must have seen that many people like eating bitter things, some like sweets, some like to go out, and some prefer staying at home. Some like reading and some like to talk. While some are scared of heights and some have motion sickness. Why? Why so many different tastes, different choices? Many people do different actions which they do subconsciously. Why? All these actions, our taste, our choices are related to our memory, which we have carried forward from last birth. And these memories are the reason of our present reactions. One more question. Why are you sitting like this in front of me? Any idea? Why are you sitting on chairs and not on trees? Why do you walk with 2 legs and not on 4 legs? Why do you walk and not hop like monkeys do? Why? You might say because we are humans. So, this is how humans behave. You have been trained right from birth to it, talk, sit, walk in this way. And that is why you are behaving like this. But imagine If you were born and brought up in a jungle, what would happen? You would also be hopping and jumping from one tree to another tree. You would also be walking on four legs. Your every action would be like an animal. Yes or no? Why? Deeply think about it. You are sitting like this only because you have been programmed to sit like this and talk like this. That means, whatever you are you real human? Or are you human of memory? Are you really human or just like a robot? Whichever memory we set, it behaves accordingly. Right? So, right from childhood, a human memory was set in your mind, and hence you are behaving like humans. Are you understanding? Are you following what I am trying to say? That means we are humans only by memory. Now, tell me similarly, you were taught to get angry or you already knew that. Be it anger, be it ego, be it jealousy, all these emotions. Nobody taught us, but we have been carrying it since so many births in the form of these negative memories. So, all we need to do is to purify our emotions, is to purify our memories. This is the beautiful principle which we have learned today. All that we are today is nothing but just because of our memory. And that is why one last thing I would like to tell you is that what would happen if you lose your memory? Suppose you have lost your memory. Now, will you be able to identify your mother? No. So now, when you look at her, will you get any motherly feelings toward her? No. Why? Because your emotions were in your memory. And the moment you lose your memory, you not only lose your emotions, but you will even lose your relations. This is a very bitter fact which reveals a hidden secret that if we want to work on our emotions, we have to work on our memory. If we want to purify our anger, ego, jealousy, we will have to purify our memory. And the best way of purifying memories is by chanting mantras. These mantras replace our negative emotions. They purify them and thus make us calm and patient. Now, let us chant mantras for some time. must have marked that after chanting mantras just for few minutes, it has relaxed your mind and your thoughts have calmed down. You all have very patiently heard to the philosophy of Bhagwan Mahavir on emotional memories. May you all get rid of your negative memories and become positive in your life. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Okay. We shall meet again.